So my first client, she's 78 years old, and she found me at the farmer's market. She was walking by, and she has just been so beat up at this point with her diabetes. She walks by and she sees my enabled diabetes flag, and she actually walked by. I remember it. She was like 10 yards past, and she stops and turns around. She's like, "What is enabled diabetes?" She just had to answer that question, and she eventually got to talking. Sat down with her at the local Tim Hortons, and she had been referred to this specialist, like five different specialists at the same. Oh, sorry, like five different specialists at the same facility, and she had been inundated with this protocol, this protocol. Some of them were even contradicting each other, and she was just so stressed out. She threw in the towel. She's actually a pretty disciplined person. She was eating off a meal plan that was like cutting out dairy, cutting out flour, cutting out this, cutting out that, like very disciplined to be living that life, right? And her A1C was still 11.1. So her average blood sugar, I don't even know what that average blood sugar it turns out to be, but I know so your ideal is like lower fives, like 5.3, 5.4. Pre-diabetes is 5.7 to 5.9. Different sources say different things, but 5.7, 5.9 is pre-diabetes. 6.4 is type 2 diabetes. She's at 11.9, at 11.1. So it was astronomical, right? And her blood sugar was brutal. So it was like always above range and then coming back in range, or like not even in range, always above the scale. So I wear the CGM. It's a glucose monitor, and it goes up to 400. She was wearing a different one, but the same thing. It goes up to 400. She'd be midday or afternoon, she'd be above 400, and then she'd come down to either 300 or 375 in the morning, and then whittle her way up out of the range again. Completely beat up, stopped wearing the sensors because there was so much negative feedback. Working with a holistic doctor for 20 years, working with not working with an established healthcare system for a few years, maybe 15, just no results. Completely lost, completely threw in the towel. Taking insulin, taking metformin, and it's just nothing was working, right? And enter me, and she can't walk. She can't. I'm telling her to get 10,000 steps a day. I pull up her Apple Health, and she's getting 1,200 steps a day, and it's rugged, right? She has a hitch in her hip when she walks, so it's hard for her to get in tons of steps, and it's rugged. So you need to be able to burn off that sugar before you eat again, right? So I've actually got her on different sit to stand protocols, calf raises, marches, glute bridges off the couch, and she's working out twice a day actually. So she's 78 years old, can't walk, and she's working out twice a day, working out before she eats ever, and working out before she goes to bed, and working out while she's filling the coffee machine with water, while she's filling the water filter. She's doing calf raises, she's doing counter push-ups, and she's completely changed her outlook. She went from just being distraught, in a quandary, she called it. She got a really deep vocab. It's entertaining. But yeah, she went from the quandary to just feeling hope and feeling like she's actually has some agency. She has the ability to affect change. And now she's still tripping up on a few things and in terms of like execution. Uh, but I'm so hopeful. So we're 5 weeks in, right? She's waking up at 170 to 220 every day. So like on good days, she's waking up at 170, but she's up to like 220 on the bad days, which is a huge difference between 300 on the good days to 375 on the bad days on the wake up. And then she's responding to her daily dose of insulin a lot better. So she's gaining that sensitivity because she's reducing the input, right? She's able to get that sensitivity back a little bit. So ideally in the future, she cycles off that insulin after we achieve proper glucose control. And I assume she's going to get to a point, or she is going to get to a point where it's actually going to start dipping low. And at that point, we'll have to, bring it back to the doctor and say, hey, I'm on my way out of this thing, and let's cycle off this Humalog or the Lantus. The Lantus is the long-acting daily insulin. So it's super inspiring, and you can ask her yourself. I mean, if you're curious about my coaching, I can send you her contact and you can call her up. She's at the hair salon talking about me. She's at everywhere. She's talking to her non-diabetic friends like, hey, you got to get in shape. You got to use Mark's coaching service. So I'm proud to say that I am the gap between. So I have knowledge on the issue, right? more than the average person, but it's not such a complex issue. Like guys that are engineers, right? Coming to me, looking up my website, diving into topics. You can learn all this stuff yourself. But just like the doctors say, on average, people don't change their lifestyle. That's why they prescribe metformin. So if you're prescribed metformin, the doctor gave up on you. You gave up on you. You got a prediabetes diagnosis, then you got a type 2 diabetes diagnosis. They only prescribe metformin if you have a 6.2 or above. So you gave up on yourself. And unless you're willing to change, come to me and I'll help you change. And I'll get you down into range. I'll get you off your meds eventually. And it's the only way that you can actually fix your diabetes. Because if you're just adding more band-aids, adding more metformin, more insulin, it's just covering the problem. It's not solving the problem. You're kind of just avoiding it. And if you solve the problem by changing how you eat, changing how you work out, changing how you live, you'll improve your life. You'll add quality to your years as well as life, or quality to your life, not just quantity. So yeah, it's very inspiring, and to hear it, especially as like a 78-year-old who's thrown in the towel, to change it around and have hope now and actually see results, positive results. Because at that age, as we age, she's getting close to like the life expectancy, right? But she's still moving around. But at that age, you just don't really get positive news. It's always, oh, did you hear Jenny had this? Oh, did you hear Stacy had this? Did you hear Ron had this? It's all negative. There's never like oh, did you hear about Jenny? And then it was like, she improved her A1C. Or do you hear about Ron? He's completely, whatever. So my client is able to spread some good news, and that's why she's at the hair salon talking about my coaching service. So take control of your life, take some agency, and spread some good news about yourself, because you can. You have the ability to. And if she can do it at 78, you can do it at whatever, 85 or even below. You can do it at, you have no excuse as a 55-year-old. You have no excuse as a 65-year-old. If a 78-year-old who can only get 1,200 steps a day can do it, you can do it too.